A special guest joining us from the BJP headquarters, Ms. Nirmala Sitharaman, a spokesperson of the BJP, joining in live from the BJP headquarters. Ms. Sitharaman, thank you so much for joining us here at ET Now. The reaction in the market says it all. It's a party on the Lal Street. Congratulations on what's been a very strong performance by the BJP. I'm sure you'll admit that the margin of victory is taking many by surprise. How surprised are you by this margin of victory?
Well, we worked for an objective of 272 plus, and with that objective, every effort was put in. An alliance, pre-election alliance of 25 parties was also formed. So now reaching 272 or more is something which definitely pleases us, but our effort was towards it. Every additional vote that you get, seat that you get over 272 plus, is only a bonus, and we're grateful for that.
Ms. Sitharaman, we've also got Swaminathan Iyer, our consulting editor, joining us here in the studio, and he's got a question for you. Swami?
What do you think are the three big things the new government will do when it comes in, within the first 100 days? Three big things.
Well, I think it's very difficult to answer that kind of a call because, that kind of a question, because the economy has been derailed completely. You've written columns after columns, Mr. Iyer, and therefore the first three things or first 10 things cannot really be listed because you'll end up ignoring many other sectors. Mr. Modi is a very sensitive administrator. He has led Gujarat from where it was to where it is today. So there are going to be simultaneously a lot of things into which his attention will be drawn, and immediately steps will be taken. First, we have to restore the confidence of the economy. In the economy, both of the people and for the investors. I think that will be the priority, and also to look at cutting down inflation as much as we can. That is a long-term objective, but immediate reprieve for the consumers in terms of the prices will have to be looked at. So there are many things I can list, but it will not be fair for me to prejudge what his priority would be.
Ms. Sitharaman, wondering if we can get something out of on the gas price hike, because that's a decision on which the government needs to act immediately, and it's become a political issue. There's a lot of furor as well. How do you see the BJP reacting to the gas price hike? We do have a formula that's already in place. The matter has gone into arbitration. What stance will the BJP take on the crucial issue of gas pricing?
I think we explained this in the way in which we were referring to the standing committee and based on the Rangarajan committee recommendations and so on. That will be very much the line in which we'll go. I think it is important for the new government to look at it from the point of view of what the standing committee did in the parliament and subsequently on the recommendations of Rangarajan committee, and then looking at the arbitration whichever is happening. So the government's position is not going to be different from what the party, at least initially, what we have defined as our position on the matter. However, of course, once the government is formed, I think it will be the prerogative of the government to take a call in case they're going to look at it afresh.
Now that you've won the election, or you're set to win the election with such a comfortable majority, Ms. Sitharaman, what is going to be the party's stand in FDI and multi-brand retail? Because the market is hoping, now that the election is out of the way, possibly we'll see the BJP continue with the policy, at least not scrap a policy, because that could send a negative signal to foreign investors. Will you have a relook at that stance?
Yeah, see, first thing here is formation of a stable government in such matters is very important, and the indications are very clearly that there is going to be a stable government. The numbers are coming very well, and the trend will, if it continues, is going to result in a very good stable number, which will give us a stable government. That's the first thing. Second thing is, on the FDI in multi-brand retail, we have repeatedly been telling that initial initiatives were taken during Atal Bihari Vajpayee's time in the NDA government. Subsequently, we have been giving a very clear explanation as to why we were not with the government when they, bulldozed the decision on FDI in multi-brand retail. Because we thought the Indian infrastructure, energy requirements in the villages, inclusion, financial inclusion for the farmers and the traders hadn't been achieved, and therefore we thought it might be, opening up the floodgates without making our people ready for facing the situation. Mr. Modi, in Gujarat has been very, very clear on the way in which he has given impetus for industry, particularly those which generate employment. So if you're looking at it from the point of view of FDI in multi-brand retail, I would think we will certainly be clear that nothing that will affect our farmers or traders will be rushed into as a decision. However, Mr. Modi also understands that investments are required in particular sectors where employment generation is going to be a big challenge and on which he's shown commitment. So I would look at it from the point of view of not looking at FDI in multi-brand retail as one brush stroke, but he would certainly look at investments with foreign direct investments coming through with a nuanced understanding. And therefore, we'll have to wait for the government to come in. Our position is stated, there is no change in it, but let's see what he would do after he takes over.
Ms. Sitharaman, this is Manvi Dhillon from the ET Now studio here in New Delhi. I'm coming back to the here and now, and the here and now is the tense position as far as Arun Jaitley's seat in Amritsar is concerned. Respond to that, please.
Could you say that again, your question?
Yes, I was saying that, it's a precarious, tense situation as far as Arun Jaitley's seat, Amritsar, is concerned. By all recent, leads and positions that are coming in, he is still trailing in Amritsar. How do you respond to that?
Well, it was a tough seat. Mr. Jaitley gave a very good fight, and I still hope that even with a slender margin, it will be Mr. Jaitley who will win and not Captain Amarinder Singh. It was a tough call. Mr. Jaitley did a fantastic turnaround in terms of the campaign, and I hope and I seriously wish he wins.
Ms. Sitharaman, I'm trying to squeeze in a few more questions on the economic agenda of the government because, plenty of investors are watching this show as well. There's some uncertainty on what the government will do with the RBI governor. Some of your colleagues in the BJP have criticized the governor in the past, and there is some nervousness in the market that a BJP government will come and remove the governor or make it tough for the governor to continue. Could you clear the air on what will be the BJP stance on the RBI governor?
I think I'll go back to the speeches of Mr. Modi. He's been very clear that he's not coming to power because he wants to become Prime Minister, but he's there now to reach that position more to show how governance has to be done for this country, urgent requirement for the country to get moving forward with a lot of positive action. He is not coming there to settle scores or, be vindictive. That was the political response he gave as regards government which are going to be fragile. I'm sure that's the broad principle with which he's going to be there. It is not as if he's going to be picking and choosing everybody who has been appointed by the previous government and saying, oh right, your time's up, you go away. Not at all. I think he's coming there with a positive agenda of working in order to get this economy going. The impression that India was an emerging market earlier had come down. Mr. Modi will first concentrate on getting India back on its rail. I don't think he's going to be doing personalized politics, even if it refers to specialists, domain area experts, or even people as respected as the governor of the RBI. So I think the broad message is, I'm not speaking for Mr. Modi, but the broad message is, he's not going to come there to become Prime Minister, to remove people or put people in place. He's more coming there to perform.
Ms. Sitharaman, Swami has one more question for you before we let you go, Swami.
The last NDA government had formally said we are decontrolling diesel. After that, the diesel control came back. Can we take it you will go back to diesel decontrol, and if so, how quickly?
See, that's a very pertinent question. It was us who, during the NDA, started the first few steps of decontrolling and making it a free market business for the oil and oil-related products. Post which, when the UPA came in, they brought in a group of ministers and tried to get it back again to be a regularized, administered price mechanism, took over and so on. Our approach, and Mr. Modi has always been very clear, that he has to look at subsidies and also look at rights-based matters with a greater sense of, rationalizing things. So this government, with a stable number that it will get, providing a very firm government, will definitely look at the matter far more with a wider perspective, so that the entire the budget of importing crude, the subsidy being provided, will all be looked at with a sense of responsibility. At the same time, being sure that the exchequer doesn't get burdened both by the subsidies and also by the quantum of import. And therefore, I think I will only go to the extent of saying they will certainly be one of the things on which there will be a comprehensive looking into it, more in the favor of decontrol.
More in the favor of decontrol. I'm sure investors would cheer that comment from you, Ms. Sitharaman. Thank you so much for taking the time and joining us here at ET Now.